And a comfortable child's pose. So, you know, knees wide or closer together. Make sure your, make sure that your forehead is resting on the mat. All right, and to start, just have your elbows be, your arms be soft, your elbows, your forearms on the ground. Okay. So kind of going inward. As I was doing this pose this morning, I was thinking, you know, kind of being with yourself, but I think a lot of us are kind of sick of ourselves, especially if you live alone. So, but, or maybe you live with a lot of people and you are happy to crawl inside and be by yourself. So whatever it is, just arrive and utilize this pose as a time to, one, right, open up the lower back outer hips, which are getting really tight with all this sitting and walking and whatnot. All right. And because you're a little compressed in your front body, begin to, right, sense the front of the body kind of breathing against the thighs, the knees, as you take a couple of deep inhales and exhales. Feeling the rib cage expand side to side, right? The rib cage connected to the front back body as they expand as well. And then as you exhale, noticing the retraction, the softening throughout the body. So just taking a couple of moments here. And even though we're by ourselves, right, it doesn't mean we're checking in with ourselves. So notice what's going on, for better or for worse. It's all important. It all needs to be recognized. And then keeping the left arm soft, begin to extend from the hip, from the right hip, begin to extend the right arm forward as you reach to the front of your mat. Right, increasing the length of the space from the fingertips to the hips with a couple more deep inhales and exhales. Now keeping that length, begin to walk your right arm, your right side body over to the upper left corner. Right? And your left forearm is still on the mat, and gently tug that left forearm back as you extend the right arm forward diagonally. Notice if your shoulder's lifting up towards the sky. Give it a little nudge down. And again, take a couple big breaths here. And then slowly come back through center, lengthening the spine, relaxing the right arm back, pausing for a breath as you notice the sensation in the right side body. And then lengthening now the left arm away from the left hip. And utilizing that length as you walk the arm over to the upper right corner. Try not to let the right shoulder lift up, give it a little nudge down. And then once again, drawing the right forearm, pulling it back as you feel like you're shortening the right side, but lengthening the left side for a couple breaths here. Good. And then once again, come back through center and invite both arms to lengthen forward and feel as if my hands are on your hip creases, pulling you back, right? Increasing the length, again, side bodies, front body, back body with some deep inhales, but always having an equally long exhale, balancing it out. One more breath. Good. Soften the elbows as you bring them back to the ground. Soften the arms, lifting the head. Take your time. We're going to meet back up on to your hands and knees. So if your knees were wider, bring them in line. Wrists, knees in line, fingers spread equidistant. And here's where you'll cue the music on if you're using it. I'm just gonna put mine on really low to kind of track me here. And then at your own pace, everybody knows this. Cat cow, inhale, look forward, lift the tailbone. Exhale, chin towards the chest. Take liberties here. If you feel like you want to hang in one longer than the other, that's fine. And come back through center. All right. Double check with your shoulders here, making sure you're not collapsing. Broaden them, stabilize them. Bring the right foot back. All right. Tuck the toes, just gently wake up the foot, the back of the leg, as you create this long line back and forth, shifting back and forth from the crown of the head to the heel. If your wrists are not happy with me right now, you can always come onto your forearms, or even better, if you have blocks, place your forearms on the blocks. Shoulders back above the wrist, point the toe, stretching the top of the foot, which does not really get a lot of attention. And then rock a little from the big toe to the pinky. Feel free to move the hips a little. Stretch the top of that foot. Good. And then back to center. Bring the right knee back underneath you. Still a little cat-cow, but in between sides. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, chin to the chest. And now to the other side. Let's bring the left leg back, tuck the toes. And again, try not to collapse in the shoulders. Keep the lower belly engaged, rib cage drawing in. You can create this long line from the crown of the head to the toes, as if you're looking right over a cliff here with your gaze, so the back of the neck is nice and long. And then once the shoulders are above the wrist, point the toes. Right? Feel that gentle stretch, almost like you're dragging the foot towards you, stretching the front of the foot. You could stay there and again, rock side to side. Always honoring the different sides and their needs. And modifying if needed. Good. All right, slide that knee back underneath you. Before we move on, let's turn the fingertips towards you, if that's available. If not, right, you're just going to kind of sit on your heels and go like so. All right. With the fingertips towards you, stay here. Again, making sure you're not collapsing. Push the earth away, broadening the upper back, and then determining the volume for yourself here as you maybe shift a little bit back or increasing the volume. Feel like you're trying to turn your hands in, really broadening through the forearm, the wrists. There's a lot going on with our devices and computers. Make sure the shoulders are away from the ears. Couple more breaths. Good, one more. All right, come on back. All right, now from here, I think we did something similar last week. So let's begin by feeling like we're going into cat pose. You're rounding, tops of the feet are on the ground, and you're pulling up so much through your belly, tailbone drawing down that you're able to float the shins off the ground. I don't know if you can see because my leggings are darker, kind of the same color as my mat. Feel like you're dragging your knees, your heels of your hands towards one another, your wrists. 2 more breaths, really firing up that core. 1 more. Good, and then relax. Good, take a moment, go into child's pose. In this child's pose, turn the thumbs towards the sky so the palms are facing one another. Right, shrug the shoulders away from the ears, and then see if you can place the palms back down without losing that integrity in the shoulders. All right, and then inhale, come on back up. And now this time, tucking the toes, use that stretch in your toes there. Same thing, pull the belly back like you're doing cat, right? This might feel a little easier, especially if you're tight in the tops of your feet, and float those knees up. Let them try to hover, not really high, because then I'm using my feet a little more, my legs. Engage the core for 3, keep breathing. 2, like you're dragging your toes and your wrists towards one another. Good, and then float down. And then once again, let's go back into child's pose. And again, turn the palms to face one another, thumbs towards the sky. Shrug the shoulders away from the ears, outer edges of your shoulders pointing down, broadening the back. And then the hands come down, but not the shoulders. 1 more breath. All right, slide your hands back towards your knees. And then if it's available to you, have a seat on your heels. Okay, if not, you could come up onto your knees or you could just sit in Sukhasana. Okay. So on your heels here, I'm gonna turn my back to you for a second here. All right. Take a moment, settle in. So again, big deep stretch for the tops of the feet, good stretch for the knees if it works for you. Hands interlace behind you. All right, my knuckles are touching towards my tailbone. Squeeze the shoulder blades together, broadening the chest. And let's take the hands to the right hip. Okay. And then once you're there, so I make sure you're not going up to the waist. If you go up to the waist, your shoulders lift up. Squeeze those shoulder blades together. All right. And then once you've found that, lifting the crown of the head, making sure you're not dumping into your lower back. Lift up like you're resisting the earth with your spine. And release the right ear to the right shoulder. Finding that space between the ear and the shoulder. And then make it interesting. Get curious about it, right? We do these things. We repeat these shapes, these poses, and sometimes we just go on autopilot. So take a moment, maybe look away with your chin in one direction or down, over. Just kind of explore what's going on. Maybe you'll find a place where you just want to be. One more breath, right? All these days are starting to feel like Groundhog Day, so it's getting a little more challenging each day to make it a little more interesting and stay present, stay curious. All right, inhale, bring that head back up. All right, keep the hands as they are. Travel alongside the back and go to the opposite hip, right? So to your left hip. Squeeze those shoulder blades together as you broaden, right? Make sure you're not sticking the rib cage, just out, gently knit it back. And then bringing this time left ear to left shoulder. Just pause, check in. And then again, feel free to make it interesting or explore. A couple more breaths. Notice what's going on with the jaw. Are you gripping your jaw? All right, lift the crown of the head back, up, good. Let's bring those hands back. Come back forward into your tabletop. Tap some life back into the tops of your feet, either way, even if you did it or not. Okay. Spread those fingers, shoulders above the wrists. Tuck the toes, just like we did a second ago. Pull the belly in and float the knees off just for a breath. Keep the knees bent as you shift your hips up and back. Bent knee, down dog to start. Find the length. You might have to adjust where your hands are. Find the length from the crown of the head to the tailbone, like you feel like it's pulling that tailbone up. And then as you look back at your feet, feel free to start pedaling the legs. You don't have to. It might just feel good to keep the knees bent. A couple more breaths here. Good. All right. And then from here, bend the knees deeply again. Lift those hip creases up. And then lift up onto your tippy toes as you straighten your legs. Big, up, long, upside down V. Exhale, maybe the legs stay straight as you begin to lower the heels together towards the ground. Doesn't mean they get there. And then again, inhale, lift up, stretching the toes, the feet, the legs. Exhale, the ankles as well. One last time, inhale, come up. Exhale, lowering to what feels right. Good. Inhale, look forward, draw the shoulders above the wrist, pause in your plank. Bend the knees and let them hover. You're back to this pose. And then inhale, up, down dog. We're gonna create a little pattern here. Exhale, coming forward through plank, hovering. And then lifting up and back, downward facing dog. Good. One more time. Inhale, come forward through plank, hover. Pause here. Float the knees down. Shift forward, point the toes, shift forward, shoulders, elbows back, lower, all the way down to the ground. Good. Let's just take a moment in Sphinx here. Elbows underneath, point the toes back. Right. Drawing your tailbone down towards the floor will help protect your lower back. Just like you did earlier, squeeze those shoulder blades together. And then look over one shoulder and the other. Bring a little movement into your head here, to your neck. One more time. Good. And then slowly float down. Slide your hands alongside your rib cage. Low cobra 3 times. So know that you have 3 times to build that cobra, right? Squeeze the shoulder blades back and then inhale, a little baby cobra. As you exhale, you're growing longer, reaching the spine forward, more forward to the front of the mat. 2 more times. Inhale. Exhale, nice and slow. Inhale, lifting up. And then exhale. Good. Tuck the toes. We'll meet back downward facing dog. And breathe. Shoulders back. And then again, that same little vinyasa. Inhale, come forward. Exhale, float the knees down, let them hover. Inhaling up and back. Good. Pause here. All right. Look at the outside of your left shin, ankle, and see if you can give a little extra pressure into your left hand. Bring that right arm across that side body. All right. A little bit of a twist here. The hips remain and legs remain level. If you can't quite reach, you could walk your feet a little bit closer, right? And you don't even have to reach. It could be just the intention here. And then inhale, come back, place that right hand down. Exhale, take the left hand, reach across, right? As if you're trying to touch. Make sure the legs stay level. And then come back through center. Good, big breath in. As you exhale, gently bend the knees. Let's bring the hands towards the feet. Let the head go. Nod the head, yes and no. And then slide your hands just above your knees. Reach your heart forward. Inhale, let's rise on up. So you're at the back of your mat, Tadasana. Look down at your feet, rock a little side to side, set it up. Shrug the shoulders up, back, and down a couple of times. Just give them a little mobility. Good. And then from here, bring the arms forward and up, interlace the hands, press the palms to the ceiling, wrist forearms stretch, well-deserved. Exhale, lean over to your left. Making sure that the weight is balanced in your feet. You're not putting all the weight right on that left foot. Inhale, come back up through center. Exhale, go the opposite way. Big long side body, big breath in and out. And then inhale, come up. As you exhale, keep the hands interlaced, bring them forward, broaden the upper back, drop the tops of the shoulders, perhaps dropping the chin to the chest, but not dropping the chest in an effort to find some space back of the neck. Inhale, lifting up, exhale, reaching your arms out to the side with your legs straight or your knees bent, bow back forward, forward fold. Hands to the shins, monkey pose. Good. Exhale, calm back down. All right, bend the knees, walk yourself back to your downward facing dog. All right, so for today, we're creating this little different, again, trying to keep things interesting, a little bit different vinyasa. You can always skip it, okay? So just like we did earlier, inhale, come forward into plank. Exhale, float, hover the knees down. Inhale, back. This time, take your right hand, touch the outside of your left, whatever's available. Come back as you inhale, exhale. Other hand, left hand to the right shin. Inhale, back to center. Good. And then come back forward. Inhale, exhale, hover. Float the knees down, shift forward. Try to keep your belly engaged so the heart and chin come to the floor first. Nice. And then one long inhale, rise up. Low cobra, exhale, tuck the toes, downward facing dog. All right, so that's going to be the pattern in between sides. And again, feel free to do whatever vinyasa, right? Vinyasa is just moving with your breath, feels right. All right, one more breath here. Bend the knees, look forward, take little baby steps to the front of your mat. Feet on the ground underneath you, hips width apart, hands to the shins. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, bow back down. Good. Inhale, rise on up. And this time, interlace the hands once again behind you. Okay. Knees, legs, or hips width apart. This time, arms straight. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Lift the heart like you're doing cobra. Tailbone rooting down. Little itty bitty upper back bend standing. And then from here, bend the knees back. Think rib cage to the thighs as you extend the spine forward. Let the head go. And then once you're there, again, reactivate those shoulder blades. Bring the hands up and above. Couple breaths here. One more. All right, take the hands back towards the hips. Stay in your forward fold as you release the hands to the ground. Good. Bring your left hand underneath you where your face is. You could always come onto your fist, or if this feels like the floor is still too far away, you could take your hand to your left shin. Right hand to your right hip, and slowly begin to twist. Look over to the right with your heart, making sure your left hip, your left knee is not coming forward. Try to keep all this in the lower body stable. Reach that right arm up. And I'm twisting towards you, so I'm not necessarily on the same side. And then straightening that right leg if that's available. And again, you could come here, right, if that works better, or onto your fist. You don't have to straighten that leg. Maybe the twist alone is enough. One more breath. Broadening the collarbones. You want to feel like you could float off the ground with that bottom arm. Hand back to the hip. Bend the straightened leg if you're there. Come back through center. Just fold over those legs for a breath. All right, so we'll set up the twist again. Right hand moves a little bit underneath your face, right? Left hand to your hip. Reach forward like you're doing monkey pose, twisting from the rib cage. Look over to the left with your heart, but not your right hip. And then extending that left arm up, really broadening the chest, squeezing those shoulder blades together, and perhaps straightening the left leg. So like that. Just turning so you can see me. 2 more breaths. All right, and then bend the knee, look down, we'll come back forward fold. Pause for a breath. Inhale, lengthen the legs, lengthen the spine, monkey pose. Exhale, bow back down, bend the knees, fold over. 2 more times. Inhale, first lengthen. Exhale, bending the knees, release over. Last one. Inhale, lengthening. Exhale, melting back down. Good. Put the weight into your right foot, step the left foot back. I think we're on the same side here. Float the knee down, hands to the shin, finding low lunge. All right. Take a moment here, whoops. All right, we talked a lot about this last week. Feel like there's an anchor in your tailbone, pushing the tailbone down, scooping the belly up. Right, so you're finding some space length here. Right. And then bring those arms forward and up, just like you did before. Interlace the hands, press the palms to the ceiling, and then bring the hands to that nice little curve in the back of your head, that occipital curve. Elbows are out to the side, right? And then from here, lift the heart like you're doing cobra, and looking up with your gaze, let the head fall into that little hammock. Right? And then don't forget about those legs. Tailbone still drawing down. Feel like you're dragging the heel and the knee towards one another. Front heel, back knee. Activating that hip. 2 more breaths. Right, that left hip. 1 more. All right, take the gaze back forward. Exhale, release your hands down to the ground. Tuck the back toes, lift the back leg. Stepping back into down dog. Pause in down dog. You're either gonna stay here, do your own thing, or inhale, come forward. Exhale, hover the knees. Right, pull the belly in, tailbone down. Inhale, lift up and back. Good. Exhale, left hand across, touches the right ankle, maybe, or shin or not. And then other side. Good. Inhale, back through center. Pause as you exhale. Inhale, come forward. Exhale, hover. Float the knees down. Shift forward, shoulders back as you exhale. 1 low cobra. Inhale, lifting up. Exhale, tuck the toes, downward facing dog. And breathe. You can always take child's pose as well. Inhale, lift that right heel up to the sky. Bend the knee, peel the right hip on top of the left. You're back to that right hip flexor. Right? take a moment here. Double check that your left shoulder's not lower than your right. Your right shoulder's not lower than your left. Turn your right knee towards your left pinky toe. Your right pinky toe, sorry. I'm trying to stay on the same side as you guys. I apologize. One more breath. All right, square the hips, keep the knee bent, look towards your hands, step the left foot through to the front of your mat. Float the right knee down, and we're back to your low lunge on the other side. Right. Again, tailbone's drawing down, scoop the belly, lift the heart, bring the arms up, interlace that hand. Maybe take a moment here to get that little stretch first. So if you have any wrist stuff, I think we all do. Hands come to that little curve, elbows out to the side. Lift from the back of the heart and then let the head fall right into that little hammock. Give the neck a break. Awareness back to the legs. Feel like you're drawing the left heel, right knee towards one another. Really firing up that hip. Right, strong, active legs. 3, 2, and 1. Good. Take the heart, the gaze forward. Right. Bring the hands down to the ground. Tuck the right toes, lift the right leg, step that back leg forward to the front of your mat. Good. Hands to the shins. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, bow back forward. You can always bend the knees. Inhale, rise and up. Bring the palms together. Exhale, hands to your heart. And ideally, you're feeling a little warmer because I am. All right. Inhale, bring those arms. So sun salutation, C variation. Exhale, bow forward. Hands to the shins. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, bow back down. Bend the knees. This time the right leg comes back, the one you just did, for high lunge. Hands to the thighs, lift on up. Good. And then once again, tailbone is down, hip points lifting up. And once you've found your legs, it's a lot more challenging here. And you notice my legs are not in line, right? There's space between my heels to create that foundation. Bring the arms forward and up. Turn the palms to the front of the mat. Take your left thumb, hook it behind your right. Right? Your palms are facing forward, it's like a chain, and you're trying to pull them away. Maybe you're going to bring your arms back in line with your ears, not at the cost of the shoulders, lifting up. Create that little back bend in the upper back that the tailbone is rooting down. For 3, 2, and 1. Good. Keep your hands as so. Keep your legs as so as you extend over that front leg. Slower possible, really building heat in that front knee, front leg, and then come back down, I should say front hip. All right, once again, take your time, step back, downward facing dog. Your call, stay here. Inhale, come forward. Exhale, hover the knees. Inhale, back up. Exhale. Take the hand across, doesn't matter which. Tap the opposite leg. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, across. Inhale, back to center. Good. Inhaling forward. Exhale, hover the knees. Inhale. Exhale, float down. Inhale, shifting forward. Exhale, slowly lowering down. If your breath doesn't match my count, that's fine. All right, this time let's interlace the hands behind the back, just like you did standing. Tops of the feet into the ground, thighs into the ground, tailbone pulling down to protect the lower back. We're just doing the upper body. Lengthen forward like you're doing cobra, and inhale, lift up. Maybe the hands lift off the bum, reaching back. Ardha Shalabhasana, half Shalabhasana for 3. Good. 2. And 1. Exhale, lowering back down. Good. Hands alongside the rib cage. 1 low cobra. Easy peasy. Exhale, come back down. Good. Tuck the toes. I'll meet back. Downward facing dog. All right. Pause for a breath. This time, right leg goes up towards the sky. Bend the knee. Peel that hip on top of the other. So it should be the opposite side that we did earlier. Make sure the left shoulder's not dropping down. Shoulders square. And then look at your knee, the standing knee. Most likely it's dropping to the midline. Try to peel it to the outer edge of your mat. Get a little more out of it. 1 more breath. All right, squaring the hips. Draw the right foot through to the front of your mat. Here we are, low lunge on the other side. Take your time, rise up. Hands to the hips, lift the hip points up, tailbone drawing down. Good. Bring those arms forward. Turn the palms towards me. And this time, right thumb behind the left. Should be the opposite one. And then again, try to break the chain. Activating the outer edges of your shoulders, arms. And then see if you can maybe bring the arms back a little in line with the ears. And then lift from the heart like you're doing Cobra. For 3. 2. And 1. All right, legs stay as they are, arms stay as they are. And reach your heart forward over that right side, just pausing. And then release the hands to the ground. Good, look forward, step the left foot to meet the right. Hands to the shins, inhale, lift and lengthen, nice long breath. Exhale, bow forward. Once again, inhale, rise all the way up. And let's take your hands to your heart. Take a breath. All right, we'll pause here after that movement, settle back in with tree pose. So if you're still facing the front of your mat, I'm just gonna turn sideways, rock a little side to side. Bend the left knee. Spread the toes on the right foot, really root down, turn that leg out. And so first find a rotation without rotating the hips. It's all coming from that inner thigh. You're either gonna come here, or perhaps up here. Just take your time. Decide what is gonna enable you to find a sense of steadiness in the body, in the breath. Bring those arms out to the side for today. Flex the hands like you're pushing the walls away, broadening the collarbones, and breathe. 3, 2, and 1. Good. Hands back to the hips, draw the knee in, and place that foot down. Good. And again, rock a little side to side as we switch. Just start by bending the right knee so you can really spread the toes and grow long on that right leg. Drawing the belly in, that's really the key. We always think it's about a balance in the legs, but it's that core, it's that center holding you. Rotate the leg out, not the hips. And then maybe it's this, maybe the toes are just on the ground because it's enough to rotate that leg out, right? You're balancing. Maybe it's below or above the knee, but not on the knee. And then once again, activate, grow long, rotate those hands out to the side. Really getting a stretch through the wrists. Big breath in and out. See if you can grow a little taller, longer with each inhale. And one more breath. All right, hands back to the hips. Draw the knee in, place the foot down. Good. Again, rock side to side. Front of the mat. Root down through both feet. Inhale, draw the energy up, draw the arms up. Exhale, bow back forward. Inhale, lift and lengthen, monkey pose. Exhale, come back down. All right, from here, tick-tock the feet a little closer together. Bend the knees deeply, but look forward with your heart. We're coming into a little squat. Lifting the toes up, right? Really stretching those toes. Bring your hands to your heart, just pause. If you need to have your fingers down, that's okay. If you need to have your hips higher, that's fine, I get it. Asks a lot of the knees. Reach the arms forward, slowly lower the heel, lower the bum, and guess what? Navasana. Been doing a lot of core work lately, just to, again, kind of get things from a lot in my belly, so trying to burn it up. All right, so from here, let's take this slowly, bit by bit. We're gonna change this up a little again. So start by holding the backs of your thighs, lift the heels, right? Bring the rib cage to the thighs, shoulders down, float the heels up. Okay. And then feel free to stay here. Reach the arms forward. Feel free to extend the legs for 5, 4. Feel free to go to the bathroom. 3, 2, 1. All right, now from here, bring the knees, use your hands back towards your chest, heels towards the bum. Feet are not touching. Okay? With your hands on your legs on this first one, we're gonna roll up and back 3 times and then come back to Navasana. We're gonna roll back 1. Okay? It takes a little core work not to let the feet touch. 2, And 3, pause, lift yourself up. Good, bring the heels up. Reach the arms forward. You can always hold on or just gently hold on. Extend the legs and breathe. Even out the breath. It's probably picked up for 3, 2, 1. Again, knees in, no hands. Maybe you're gonna do it this time with no hands. You can still hold your shin, but heels are not on the ground. Harder with no hands. 1, 2, oops, and 3. Good, all right. Bring the knees in, use your hands, just give yourself a break. Heels up, arms forward. This is the last one. 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, heels to the bum, not touching the ground, hands or no hands, rolling up and down 3 times. I'm gonna put my hands on. 1, 2, and 3. Yay. All right, take those feet down. Pause. Soles of the feet together, knees apart. All right, to start, take your hands behind you, fingertips, lift up, right? Little upper back bend. Right, push the knees down as the heart goes up. Give a little stretch to those adductors, inner thighs. 2 more breaths. 1 more. All right, and now come back. Draw the knees together. Take your hands behind you, feet or hips width apart, tabletop. Right. So with your hands, traditionally fingertips towards you. If that does not work for your wrists, turn them out. You know, if this does not work at all, just go back to what we were doing. All right, once, give a little bend to the elbows so you're not collapsing in your chest. Puff the heart, and then lift your hips up. Tailbone towards the heels. And just simply try not to let the head draw back, flop back. Keep a nice long line from the tailbone to the crown of the head and breathe for 5, 4, really stretching that front body. 3, and the hips as you draw the tailbone to the knees. And 1. Good, come on back down. All right. Once again, soles of the feet together, but this time with your hands on your shins or your feet. Rock those sit bones back. Inhale, lift up. Shoulders draw back and reach forward. Good. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Inhale, come up. Knees come together. Widen your feet. You're still facing the front of your mat. With hands or no hands, lift yourself up, malasana. Right? Squatting pose. Your knees are not happy here. You could do more like catcher. We're just going to be here for a moment as a transition. Right, hands at the heart, push the knees back, lift the heart, tailbone down. We are going to do some arm balances, but if you feel like you really, we're not going to do crow, but if you really want crow, you can take it here. All right, just meet us when you're ready. You know who you are. Otherwise, hands or no hands, trying to lift up from your malasana for a 5 count. So it's really challenging for the legs. So feel like you're dragging your heels in, firing up your legs. And as you inhale, slowly lift up for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, bring the legs back parallel with one another. Let's clean it up with a vinyasa. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, take your time, bow back, forward, forward fold. Hands to the shins, inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, bow back down. All right, bend the knees, find your way to down dog. Pause and down dog, just wait for us here, or once again, inhale, come forward. Exhale, float the knees, hover. Inhale, back up, downward facing dog. Take another deep inhale, and exhale, inhale, come forward. Oops, wait, no, go back to your down dog. I forgot to go across the body. Reach across, you don't have to. Just building some heat in the core, in the arms. Inhale, come back. Inhale, back forward. Exhale, hover. Float the knees down. Reach forward, whatever variation. Up dog, half shalabhasana, low cobra, what works for you. Tuck the toes, we'll meet back downward facing dog. All right, pause. All right, bend the knees, look towards your hand. Actually walk the feet and the hands to the middle of your mat. They'll meet there. Let the head go, nod it yes and no.
If it works for your back, keep the knees bent and roll up vertebrae by vertebrae. If you know that's not good for you, just come up through monkey pose and we'll all be. All right, facing the long side of your mat so you can see me. We're gonna stay here for a little bit. Rock a little side to side, back and forth. Put once again on the right leg, bend the left knee. Lift your leg up. You're gonna turn your leg out to the side like you're doing tree. Grab that foot, place it just above your left knee, your right knee. We're setting up here for standing pigeon. I'm gonna turn sideways so you can kind of see. Right. Tilt your belly a little forward, stick the tailbone hips back as you bend that knee. If you know this is not working for you, you can just go back to tree. Right? And then you decide what you want to do with your arms. Maybe they're going forward, maybe they're just staying here. So make sure that that standing leg, right leg is bent. Right? Hips drawing back and breathe. For 3, deep, deep, deep into that outer left hip. 1 more. Inhale, come up. Stay there, draw the knee in, extend the leg out, and place it back down. Whew. Okay, rock a little side to side. All right, same thing. This time bend the right knee, lift it up. It's like you're doing that core plank. Draw the leg out. Place the heel just above. You can use your hand. Once it's there, bend the standing leg, your left leg. Tilt the belly, stick the tailbone back. Right? The key is to not pull in. Right? You're sticking that tailbone back, so you have to tilt your pelvis a little forward. Right? All right, and then trying to draw that inner thigh towards the ground. We'll really activate that outer hip, inner thigh, and breathe. For 3, 2, 1. Hands back to the hips. Inhale, come on up. And release. Good, rock a little side to side. All right. Legs wide. Heels in, toes out for goddess pose. All right, so utilizing that stretch, you're gonna bend both knees. And you might have to adjust a little wider, right? So you don't want your knees to go too past your ankles. That'll strain the knees, right? Tailbone, you're still drawing that tailbone down, scooping the belly up, right? Take the hands back behind your head, just like you did earlier. Elbows out to the side, firing up those side bodies. Take a deep inhale. Exhale, leaning over. My elbow's not going to get there. It could if I collapse, but try not to collapse. Keep your shoulders, your elbows in line. Exhale over your rib cage. Inhale and exhale. Good. Inhale and exhale. 2 more times. Inhale, building up some heat. Exhale in the legs, in those side bodies. And exhale. Inhale, come up. Straighten the legs. Release the hands. All right, take a breath. All right, once again, we're gonna, a little different. Bend the knees. You're still in that goddess pose. Knees moving to the pinky side of your feet. Hands on your thighs. Try not to go on your knees. Again, I'm just trying to really put extra pressure on those knees. That little twist. So as I reach with my left rib cage over to my right thigh, right? Taking your left hand, pushing that thigh back so it doesn't go with you. Right? And then broaden the collarbones. Try not to bring the shoulders forward. Squeeze those shoulder blades back. And then inhale, come back through center. Other side. Reaching over towards that left thigh as you push the right inner thigh back with the hand. And then squeeze. That right shoulder wants to come forward. Broaden the collarbones. Pull that right shoulder blade back. And just go back and forth, nice and slow. Right? But again, not collapsing. Getting a nice little twist, inner thigh stretch. Good. 1 more time. Good. All right, come back through center. Straighten those legs. All right, turn the toes. Inhales out. Hands on your hips. Warrior 2. So rotating from your left hip, turn the left leg out, and then find your warrior 2. All right. So again, tailbone drawing down, hip points lifting up, healing the hips and ribcage away from one another. Float the arms up, broaden the collarbones, and take the gaze over your right middle finger. And again, that knee, inner thigh, moving in the direction of that left pinky toe. Couple breaths here, settle in.
And then activate the legs. Feel like you're drawing, right? The inner arch of the right foot, the left heel towards the midline of your mat. So you should feel them pulling in, right? Without collapsing in that back leg. For 3, 2, 1. Good. Let's keep the arms as they are as you lift up and back without moving that left shin. Lean back. Peaceful warrior. Lifting the heart, lifting the rib cage towards the sky. For 2 more breaths. Inhale, come back through center. Exhale, straighten the legs. And release. All right, left hand on your left hip. Bring that right arm into a goalpost position. Internally rotate it, wrap it around your back. We're coming into a half bound triangle. Legs stay straight. You might need to adjust the stance of your legs a little closer if that serves you. Bring that left arm forward. And then push your hips to the back of the, I think it's the front of your mat now. And lengthen over that front leg, right? Move, right? I'm not going down because then I'll shorten my waist. I want to keep that waist nice and long. Lengthen, 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 lengthen until you can't go any further. Float the hand down. And then spiral the heart up, rib cage up to the ceiling. And it's going to help if you can tuck that left hip underneath you. Right? If that left hip is back, it's really hard to spiral up. Tailbone is drawing towards the back heel. Right, the right heel. For 3, 2, and 1. Good. Lift that arm up. Inhale, lift from the ground up. Exhale, sink back, warrior 2. Look over your middle finger, look over your foot. You're gonna windmill the hands down to the ground. Good. And then bring that front leg up and back. Let's give it a little stretch. Keep the knee bent, stack the hip, right? As you lift the knee to the ceiling, trying not to drop the right shoulder. Square the hips, and then bring that left foot through to the front of your mat. Lower the knee down, back knee down. Okay, you're coming into low lunge legs. We've already been here though. All right, so just take a moment, pause as you lift yourself up, tailbone down. All right. On this next pose, totally modifying for you. If you feel like all the pressure is in your knee, it might be that you are directly above your knee. Okay, you'll see what I'm saying in a second. All right. So option here is you lift the heart, shift the weight a little forward onto that front foot so you can tuck the back toes and lift that leg up. It's a little wobbly. I'm wobbling now. Okay. This might be enough, right? But notice like all of a sudden I'm kind of collapsing. Draw the tailbone down. We're going for this more of a quad stretch. Maybe you're going to reach back with one hand. Maybe you're going to reach back with both hands. Maybe one arm comes up. And again, then maybe you're just like so. So you want to be more above your knee than directly on your knee. For 3, 2, and 1. Good. All right. Place your hands down. Once again, tuck the right toes, lift the right leg. Bring that leg up and back. Stack the hip. All right. Keep the knee bent. Shoulders above the wrist. You're going to float that left shin to the floor underneath you. Move your left hand in line with your left knee. Turn your right foot to the floor. And then take your right hand to your hip. So my foot is not behind me on the bent knee, right? It's on the ground. So my heel, my shin, my knee, my wrist, all in line, stacking the shoulders. So you could stay here, modified Vashisthasana, trying not to dump into that bottom arm. You're lifting, using all that strength in your side body, right? And your core. Pull the belly in, tailbones reaching to the back heel, and perhaps floating, hovering that knee off the ground. For 3, 2, and 1. Oh, it's challenging. Okay, look down, take your hands down. Let's go to child's pose. Hands towards the heels, let the shoulders melt. All right, reach the arms forward, inhale, come up, tuck the toes, downward facing dog. All right, stay here, vinyasa of your choice. I'm just gonna stay.
It's my second time doing this. Take the leg up, back, left leg up. We're going back to warrior two. Bring that foot back through to the front of your mat, just as transition. Right heel down, and then take your time. Rise from the ground up. Different way to come into it. Settle in. It's a grounding pose, so settle back on the ground. And then straighten the leg, hands to the hips. Good, turn your toes in, heels out. With your hands on your hips, take a deep inhale, puff the heart up. As you exhale, reach forward with the spine, right? Let the belly tilt forward a little so spine stays nice and long. Let the head go, hands down to the ground. All right, so we're gonna do all the versions today, but always modifying for what you need. If your hands are on the ground, walk your fingertips back in line, right? Let the head go, nod at yes and no, and then squeeze, bring the elbows, the shoulders in line. You're trying to create right angles, okay? And then like you did before, feel like you're dragging the heels towards one another, lifting the arches, lifting the kneecaps, lifting the sit bones. One more breath. All right. Walk your hands forward like you're doing monkey pose. Exhale, hands to the hips. Inhale, rise. Right. Keep your hands on your hips. Squeeze those shoulder blades back like you have little wings, right? Elbows drawing back. Same thing. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, bow forward. Elbows towards the sky, head down. All right. And a couple breaths here. So this is Prasarita Padottanasana B, version B. One more breath. All right. Inhale, lift on up. Good. All right, let's go to the other side. We'll go to the other two later. Turn the right leg out. And warrior two. Reach the arms, right? Activate the legs, strong legs, tailbone down, core engaged as you're lifting the hip points. And then settle in, even out the breath here as you look over that right middle finger. All right, without looking, just know that your inner thigh, your right knee going towards the pinky of your right foot. One more breath. Good, straighten the front leg and relax the hands. Okay. Left arm into this goalpost position, internally rotate, wrap the back of the hand, the arm around your lower back. It can maybe all go all the way to the hip, it doesn't have to. Right arm reaches over your leg, push the hips to the left, lengthen from the side body, reach, reach, reach like you're trying to, I'm trying to touch the windows, that lighthouse, channeling them to you, float the hand down. And then again, look up, but try not to stick your tushy back and go forward, right? Look up with the heart, with the belly by tucking your right hip underneath you, drawing the tailbone to your left foot will help. Keep that length in the spine. For 3, and the side bodies. 2, and 1. Oh, I forgot that. All right, inhale, come on up. Exhale back, warrior 2. Let's do your reverse warrior that I forgot. That's why I need you guys here. Remind me. Inhale, come up, windmill the hands down to the ground. All right, float the knee down. We're coming back to your low lunge. All right, so set it up, same thing. It might be different on this side, so give it a shot, even if it wasn't working for you. You could just stay in low lunge, pulling the belly up, right? Or perhaps you're gonna shift a little forward with the hips, not necessarily with the knee. Right, you're not collapsing. With the hips, just push forward onto the, above the knee. Maybe this is enough, just bending that knee. Maybe reaching back one hand, maybe reaching back both hands, right? Either way, tailbone down, scoop the belly up. That is gonna fire up that quad, which does not get a lot of attention. For 3, 2, 1, good, all right. Release wherever you are, we'll all meet back down. Tuck the left toes, lift the left leg, bring that right leg up. We're gonna stack the hips, bend the knee. Nice little stretch. Inhale, square the hips, keep the knee bent. Bring that knee forward into this kind of core plank, shoulders above the wrist so you can float the right shin underneath you to the ground. All right, once again, move the right hand in line with the knee. So the knee, the wrist, the knee, the shin, the foot, all in line. Drop the left heel down. Take your time. You're gonna start with your hand on your hip. Right? This is harder on this side for me. Right? It's hard to keep this. This is a balance to keep yourself all in one line. Like there's a pane of glass in front of you and behind you, and you're stuck there. Okay. And again, lift away from the earth. Try not to collapse. Engage the side bodies, and then see if you can float that shin off the ground. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Bring it down. Nice. Look down, hand down to the ground. Bring both knees underneath you. We're going to go back to child's pose. Forehead to the ground. Let the shoulders melt forward. Even out the breath, because that's a biggie. Right, arms reach forward. Bring yourself back up. Once again, down dog. You could vinyasa, because maybe it feels good, to shalavasana or up dog, right? You could just come forward, tops of the feet open up. Sometimes I do that when my shoulders are tired of lowering down. Up dog. We'll meet that. Downward facing dog. All right, right leg comes up to the sky, right foot steps forward, transitioning back to warrior 2 from the ground up. Straighten the front leg, hands to the hips, back to prasarita. All right, so we did A and B, now doing C. Nice little shoulder stretch here after that arm balancing. So once again, interlace your hands. It's the same thing you did standing earlier, but your legs are wide and your legs are straight. Puff the heart, but you can always bend the knees. Reach forward, tilt the tailbone up slightly. Keep reaching the tailbone up as you let the head go. And then bring the arms up above. And breathe. One more breath. Right, hands back to the hips. Keep the hands interlaced. Lengthen from the strength of your legs, your spine as you inhale. Come forward, rise all the way up. Good. Hands back to the hips. Inhale, lift up. Last version, D. Reach forward, bow forward. Let the head go. All right, grab the big toes if that's available to you. 2 peace fingers, thumb, right? Elbows towards the, away from one another. If that doesn't work for you, just grab somewhere. Maybe your ankles, maybe your shins, right? And then lengthen. Once again, crown of the head down, tailbone up. Activate the legs, lift the arches, lift the knees, and breathe. Shoulders away from the ears. Lift the shoulders up to the sky. It's easy to just kind of collapse into this one. 2 and 1. Nice. All right. Release whatever you're holding on to. Walk your hands back forward like you're doing monkey pose. Inhale, look forward with your heart. Exhale, hands to the hips. Nice, strong, long inhale, lifting up, tailbone down, heart up. Good. Bend your knees. You can step or on the count of 3, hop your feet forward. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, couple little bends. Last standing balance here. Kind of, we can put all the pieces together. Bend the left knee. You're coming back to that core plank kind of or crane pose. Take your left hand to your knee. You're either going to reach it out, right, like so, or you're going to grab that big toe and extend the leg out. Right. This is triangle standing. Tailbone is down towards the heel. Inner thigh spiraling up for 3, or you could even kind of do this. 2 and 1. Either with the leg straight or bent, bring that leg back forward. Both hands to the hips, extend the leg forward, hold it there for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good, relax. All right, again, bend, settle back on both feet as we do the other side. Put the weight on the left leg, bend the right knee. Core up, tailbone down, bring the knee up. You can hold on to the knee as you bring it out to the side. All right, maybe you're just gonna stay here. Maybe you're gonna grab the foot, reach it out. The key is that you're not sticking this tushy out. Whoop, hard for me to cue and talk. All right, tailbone down and breathe. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Leg bent or knee bent. I mean, leg bent or leg straight. Bring that leg in front of you. Whoop. Clearly my wobbly side. Hands to the hips. Pause. 5, 4, 3, 2, whoop.
land back. All right. Turn. Actually, let's stay here. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, bow forward. All right. Inhale, hands to the shins. Exhale, come on back down. All right, lower down onto your shins. Okay, we're gonna set this up. Back to your arm balancing variation. Couple of choices. Take your right leg out, extend it out, foot parallel to the ground. Right. This time my knee is behind me, if you notice, right? You're gonna take your hand down. You could just stay here in this modified version, right? Otherwise, maybe you're gonna kickstand the feet, bring that back leg behind the front leg, behind the right leg, right? A little more challenging because your leg is not on the ground. Maybe you're gonna step the front foot forward, right? Maybe you're gonna bend the knee, grab the foot, place it in like you did before in tree. Maybe you're gonna grab that foot and extend it up. Either way, the heart is lifting up. You're not looking down, you're looking up with the heart, pushing the big toe of that right foot into the ground for 3, 2, 1. Good, let's all meet back on the ground. Child's pose. All right, so there's a lot of ways to go there, kind of putting all those pieces together. So just choosing what's right for you. Right? If you're, I should have said this on the other side, I apologize. You could always do forearm side plank, right? You could always do a version with your arm down, kind of like this, okay? All right, and then come back up. I don't know why my Shavasana music's on already, so I apologize. If you're listening to the playlist, take your leg out. All right, and then once again, we're just gonna build this step by step, so there's something for everybody. Right, tailbone is reaching to that back heel, right? So I'm not sticking my tush out. And then maybe I'm just merely coming kickstand. Maybe the front leg comes forward, lifting the hips up. Maybe you're gonna pick that leg up, place it inside your thigh, right? Or maybe you're gonna grab, if you were grabbing your big toe and extending it up. For 5, pushing that bottom foot down, big toe into the ground is gonna help stabilize you. 3, 2, 1, good. It's all release, look down once again, child's pose. Right, come back up, sit on your heels, right, hands behind you, interlace them, puff the heart as you reach the arms down. Right, come forward onto your knees for camel pose. Knees or hips width apart, right? We'll break it down. Heels of the hands to your sacrum, pushing the tailbone down, pushing the front of the hips forward, right? Just like you did, squeeze those shoulder blades, lift from the heart, right? But you're not leaning back. I'm trying to say, we're lifting directly up. Look up with your gaze for 3, 2, keep squeezing those shoulder blades, puffing the back of the heart up. 1, good, and then come forward. Sit back down or stay there for a break. We'll add on. Inhale, come on up. Last choice. This time you can tuck the toes. Key is tailbone's rooting down, so you don't want to compress your lower back. Scoop the hip points up. It feels wrong. Scoop the hip points up to the lower rib cage. Right? Maybe this is enough. Right? Maybe you're able to gently lean back, not with my legs, but with my torso as I lift the heart. Find your heels. Right? Keep the chin to the chest for a second. Lift the heart and then take the gaze up. Big, big, big belly. Front body stretch, heart stretch. For 3, for camel pose. 2, tailbones reaching down to the back of your knees. 1, good. Now the key coming out of this is lift up with the heart. Good, and then once again, child's pose as the counter pose. Let the hands come back towards the heels. And breathe. Let the heart melt forward, even out the breath. All right, with your hands towards your knees. All right, bring your legs out in front of you. Sweep your legs out to one side. and bring the legs in front of you. I'm going to turn towards you, but you don't have to. You just stay facing the front of your mat. All right. A little bit of a forward fold here to counterbalance. All right. Bring that energy, that awareness back inwards. So we're coming into Janu Shirshasana, which is like a seated tree, right? Left foot to the inner thigh, right leg directly above you, and then shimmy those sit bones back a little bit. All right. Feel your leg pulling back in, the extended leg, lift the heart. It's a little itty bitty twist. So for today, let's take the left arm just to the outside of the right leg, above or below the knee, not on it. Right hand is on the ground. Inhale, lift up, extend forward with the spine, right? That's why it's nice. My shoulders are back. My arms are not guiding me, right? Take the gaze down the nose, find length. You could stay here or place both hands down, maybe walk them forward, but just make sure your shoulders are not doing the work. Feel your right leg plugging back in, left inner thigh pushing towards the ground. Take a big breath in and out. Nice. In and out. Deep breaths as you gently fold back inward. So we're slowly, right, bringing our body back inward, our awareness back inward. Right. Lengthen, come on up. Stay here with the leg extended. Bring the left foot to the ground, left knee towards the sky. Use your hand here, right, to help lift you up so that spine is nice and long. Take the left arm behind you. Try to keep it close to you so you're not tempted to lean back. And then find the twist. Bring the right rib cage to the left thigh. Maybe the right arm wraps around. Maybe, if as long as your shoulder's not up in your ear, it comes to the outside. It really, right, you're just the same as the rest of us. We're all going to get the same benefit here. Inhale, lift up, and then look over that back shoulder if your neck allows it, reminding the left shoulder to draw back and down for a couple of breaths here. Okay. Try not to put all the weight into the hand. It's the spine that's lifting you up the breath. One more breath. All right, slowly unwind, look forward. Extend the leg forward. Give those legs a shake, shimmy your sit bones back. Janu Shirshasana on the other side. Okay. Right thigh, right foot into the inner thigh. Hips are square. Okay. Inhale, lift up. We'll take the, just to help us find this, it's a tiny itty bitty twist. Take the right hand across the leg, just a little bit of a twist, right? So that you can extend, reach the heart over and the spine over that extended leg, right? And that left leg's plugging back into its hip socket, right inner thigh towards the ground. Feel free to stay here, nice long neck as you look down at your shin, or perhaps both arms on the ground, forearms. You could come forward. Again, if you have long hamstrings, you could come forward, but again, you don't want the shoulders to do the work. It's the breath, it's the spine that's guiding you forward. All right. As you inhale, keep the length lifting you up. Good. Once again, foot to the ground, knee towards the sky, back to, this is Marichyasana C. So hand on the shin and use that to lift you up. Keep the hand on the shin as you bring the right arm back behind you, close to you. It's like a support beam for that spine, for your torso. And then you can wrap the arm around, just helping you deepen the twist. All right. If your arm allows it, you could take it to the outside, deeper twist. But again, not at the cost of the back, the shoulders. And then look over your back shoulder. Don't forget about the extended leg. It's still actively plugging back in for 3. Each inhale, a little longer and taller with the spine. 2. 1. Good. And then slowly unwind. Back, forward. Keep that knee bent, foot on the ground. Bend the opposite knee. And then keep the feet together as you drop the knees out. We're back to this Baddha Konasana. Okay. But from here, move your heels a little bit away. So it's more of a diamond pose. We're actually coming into Tarasana, star pose. So push those sit bones behind you, kind of wiggle them behind you. All right. And for some of you, you'll just rest your hands on your shins. Some might be able to come underneath towards the tops of the feet. Okay. And again, first find the length out of that lower back. Extend forward, take a deep inhale. And then as you exhale, Try not to melt the lower back, but let the upper body and head release inward. And soften the hands. Make sure you're not tugging here. We're just slowly going a little deeper forward fold inward. Let the head go. Big breath in, big breath out. Again, checking in. All right, chin to the chest, roll up, come back up. Give a little bend, shake to the legs, hands to the outer thighs, guide the knees together. All right. And then carefully lower yourself onto your back. Keep the knees bent. Once you're on your back, shimmy your upper back into the earth and draw both knees into your chest. If it feels good, make big circles here with the legs and the hips. And then go the other way. Again, just to really massage yourself deeper inward into the mat, into you. All right. And then place your feet down on the ground, pause. Right. Rest your hands on your belly, just create a little gentle weight. Right. Pulling you back inward with your hands. Close your eyes. And then at your own pace, take your time as you find your Shavasana. All right. So perhaps that means extending the legs to the corners of the mat. Perhaps that means going to a chair, putting your legs up or to the wall. There's really no right or wrong. It's just whatever is going to allow you to be comfortable for these final moments of stillness. And then let's bring the arms wider than the hips. Ideally, the palms are facing up, but if you need that little grounding on your belly, you could keep your hands there. Shimmy the shoulders down to the hips as you press the backs of the shoulders into the earth, opening up the heart, opening up the whole front body here, right? Just it's this gesture of being open and ready to receive, right? Receive everything that just happened. Let yourself absorb it. Take it in. And with your eyes closed, a couple final little bit of breath work here. Take a deep inhale through the nose, open up the mouth, and take a longer, slower exhale out the mouth. 2 more breaths. Deep inhale, slowing everything down as you exhale through the mouth. Last one, deep inhale. Slowing everything down as you exhale through the mouth. And then gently close the mouth. Just signaling to your body, right, that you are safe, to be soft, to be still, to just be. If you have more time and you just want to stay here, please do. That's the beauty of being in your house. You can stay here as long as you'd like. Otherwise, slowly bring some awareness, some energy back with a couple of deep inhales and exhales. So slowly waking up the parts of the body from within. And then finding some gentle movement. Maybe your fingers, your toes, maybe rocking your head side to side, right? Whatever, right? Helps you find this physical body as you move inward, outward. When you're ready, drawing your knees in towards your chest, giving yourself one more squeeze, one more well-deserved hug. Take your time as you rock over to one side, doesn't matter which. Making your way up to seated, to Sukhasana. Right, hopefully this feels a little bit easier to sit after all that movement in the body. So rock your sit bones, tailbone into the earth. Bringing your hands to your heart with your eyes closed. Just notice how you feel, how you are. Right? It's an important question that we need to ask ourselves and ask one another frequently during these times. Right? There's so much going on. There's so much emotion, and it's all right, all important. Right? But if we don't connect with it, we don't sometimes even just say it out loud or say it internally, it stays bottled up. Right, and then finally, bowing your chin towards your heart, towards your big, beautiful light. Right, hopefully feeling a little bit lighter, a little bit brighter, so you can shine that light with others. Much needed. Namaste. All right, thanks everybody. Thanks for joining us at Lighthouse, supporting Lighthouse. Hope to see you soon, either on camera or in person.